You're listening to the Jack and Seth Show.
Jack,
Yeah.
we're in person.
Dude, I cannot believe it.
Dude, you're right across from me. I can touch you.
Fist bump?
Oh, I was going to finger point. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Finger point.
Boom. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we haven't gotten good at the in-person.
No, we don't know how to interact yet. I can't like dodge off and look at like another notification on my laptop without
Exactly.
you seeing me do it. So
Just be like vibe coding like a TikTok app
right.
while we're making our episodes. Yeah, we're here. We're in beautiful central Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It is 37 degrees outside. A balmy 37.
Yeah, that's actually warm. It was like 0 degrees yesterday.
Yeah. But we're out here for a little Jack and Seth show retreat.
That's right.
I think that's fair to call what
we've
this
been
is.
grinding hard on this show.
Yeah, it's like my mom keeps asking me, like, Jack, when are you gonna get a job? Like, Jack, like, you need to save up. And it's like, Mom, like, I don't think she understands fully how much time it takes. Like, I need creative space. Right. I'm creating one of the top 200 Christian influencer focused podcasts in the market right now. And like that's a heavy burden, you know?
And nobody understands the amount of work that goes into this podcast.
No, I don't think people get like, am I often sitting down in front of my laptop and doing work? No. But like I'm living life, I'm going to coffee shops, I'm getting sandwiches, and all of that kind of is part of the creative process.
Right.
I wish people would understand that. When was the last time we did an in-person?
We were on the roof of your building.
That's
and
right.
we had little mics, and we talked about why Apple is the best.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of hate mail on that one. A lot of Android fans who said that we were a little too positive on Apple.
Death threats after that one. I stand by what we said in that Apple episode, but I don't know. Maybe I was a little too nice to Apple.
Yeah. But we have like lots of other products we can talk about.
Tons. And I think like I've been reading something really good for getting the juices flowing. It's sitting out in the cold air. We're on like a screened porch. I don't know if you can tell on the YouTube version of this, but we're keeping warm, aren't we?
Yeah, we're keeping warm. We've got, because we're in person, we could get
Yeah.
the same coffee mugs.
Wegmans,
Please
please sponsor us. We love your coffee.
We would love a sponsorship.
This is a true story. One of our producers for the show, Micah, he came upstairs this morning, woke up and said, Jack, I love the coffee. You did a great job today. And he's Micah famously loves the like kind of snooty third wave coffee.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. It's Wegmans. And
it blew his mind. And
the look on
actually
his
like
face.
being an influencer for some kind of like drink brand is actually something that we could consider
Oh, true.
as influencers ourselves. But we do have somebody else that we want to talk about today in the Christian influencer world who happens to be an influencer for a beverage.
That's exactly right, Seth. We're sitting here drinking this coffee, and something I just haven't been able to get out of my mind since I took a sip is that it's non-Christian coffee.
Yeah, I can taste it.
It's heathen secular coffee.
There's no Holy Spirit coursing through my veins.
None. But listen, Seth, do I have news for you? Let me introduce you to Praise Energy. Actually, something that you first introduced me to, but for sake of the episode, I'm introducing you to this.
Never heard of it before.
Bryce Crawford, one of the Christian Avengers who has been on our radar for quite some time. On this show, we cover Christian influencers. We talk about the culture sort of this group of mostly young evangelical folks who have really become the center of the online Christian world in the past couple of years. Bryce Crawford is one of the biggest ones, and he did something that I haven't seen before in our time covering the Christian influencer sphere, which is that he has released his own energy drink, Praise Energy, a Christian energy drink made with only the most natural of ingredients. And I'm presuming also it's blessed by a priest or
Yeah,
something.
hopefully like some holy water sprinkled in each one. Kind of like a kosher like a kosher food, but for Christians.
So if you don't mind, Seth, I'd actually like to show you some of the promotional material that we got when Mr. Bryce Crawford revealed Praise Energy.
Perfect. I'd love to see it.
I've been making a Christian energy drink for about a year now, and I forgot to set money aside for the marketing budget. So I'm just going to tell you guys about the energy drink. So it's 100 milligrams of caffeine made with green tea caffeine, about half the amount of caffeine that you get out of a regular energy drink. It's got natural flavoring, no artificial coloring, and it even is sugar-free. And I just got convicted. I'm a big energy drink connoisseur and was like, I'm tired of drinking stuff that's got like 50 ingredients and it's going to like give me heart issues in 5 years. I want to actually honor God with what I consume in my body. So if you want to be ready for Praise Energy, go to drinkpraise.com and sign.
First question: do you think he actually forgot to set aside money for the marketing budget?
Yeah, not very responsible business practice by Bryce here. No, I think that's a genius. Like that's like a business school. You know, you got to hook
like,
your listener.
It's like, buddy, you are the marketing budget.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, instead of paying somebody with less than my 3 million Instagram followers, I decided to make a video myself.
Okay, so Bryce Crawford is promoting this energy drink. Once again, another interesting Christian influencer promoting their own product kind of vibe. But tell me a little bit about like, who is Bryce Crawford and why do you think he's like a Christian Avenger at this point?
Yeah, so Bryce Crawford, someone that when we started looking into doing this season of the pod about Christian influencers, he was a name that came up very quickly. For those who might be unfamiliar with him, he's a 22-year-old influencer and evangelist. He has this kind of Gen Z matted blonde hair look going on.
Yeah.
He talks with his hands like this whenever he's making a point. I think of him as like a televangelist for the TikTok age, and truly does like connect with his audience. He has, as I mentioned, 3 million Instagram followers and 4 million TikTok followers. His Instagram page is 3 times the size of another major Christian influencer we talked about in the Girls Gone Bible podcast.
Wow.
He's 3xing them, and both of the Ari and Ange, our good friends, have like 400K followers apiece.
It's more like Bryce gone viral, not Girls Gone Bible.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, Seth. Thank you.
Thank you.
He has a similar sort of platform to another Christian Avenger we just spoke about, Cliff Connectly.
Yeah.
Who's this kind of well-meaning boomer who goes to college campuses and debates people. Bryce also likes to debate people, but I think maybe in comparison to Cliff, he's a little more overtly right-wing. He's leans into the controversy and the clickbait a little more. The most recent video of his at the time of recording is a debate he had with the head of the KKK, Tom Robb. And I didn't catch the whole thing, but what I did see was a little bit of a tough watch. It felt like Bryce could have done a little bit more of his homework before debating the head of the KKK. It's really funny, actually. I think this is a worthwhile aside. But he comes out, and it's him and the head of the KKK, which I was like, that's a crazy get.
I didn't know that like still existed, honestly.
Yeah, he said he's not the Grand Wizard. Don't call him that. He's just the national director of the Klan.
Okay.
Cool. He's like,
don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. Glad to know that they're modernizing their comms.
Yeah.
But Bryce goes to his church in Arkansas or whatever, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, you know, going doing on the ground journalism. Mr. Bryce Crawford. And then the guy comes out and he's like, let's just start out. You know, what's your impression of me? Which is kind of Tom Robb, the head of the KKK, asked this.
Yeah.
And Bryce like fumbles through this answer where he's like, well, you know, it's pretty bad in American history, all the stuff that the KKK did. But like, I think you're a fine guy. I don't really think anything badly of you. And, you know, I'm not saying he needed to performatively be like, you are bad and evil, but
right.
It just felt like there needed to be a little more professionalism from Bryce. This is a very loaded person for you to be interviewing as a 22-year-old.
Right.
So yeah. But regardless of my opinions of him, the market loves it. He's a very compelling speaker, very gifted public speaker, very handsome young lad.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And truly one of the biggest Christian influencers of the moment. Have you sort of come across this guy?
So I came across him on TikTok first, and it kind of is in the same realm of the Cliff Knechtle content. It's like street preacher core, I guess you could call it. Like, like it's basically like him speaking to somebody. It's actually less on college campuses and more just on the actual streets. And a lot of the time, it's people that maybe are a little bit outcasts, you could say. So he's often talking to like homeless people, or sometimes people at like gay pride parades or other kind of situations where I think he kind of takes on the posture of like, I'm going to go into the areas where Christians won't go, which at first I thought was kind of interesting and admirable. And I'm not here to knock him, but also like it's very clear what he's trying to do in all of these is like the videos I think go viral, not necessarily because of him, but because of the people that he's putting on the video themselves. So it's often like somebody will say something really awkward or weird, and that's why you're watching it, and not because of what Bryce is doing really. And so it feels a little bit like he's taking kind of random people and using them as like part of his platform.
Yes, exactly. And I think that this is something that's come up repeatedly in this series, which is that you can come to these social media platforms with the best of intentions, but yes, for better or for worse, you're still captive to the logic of the platforms.
Yes.
And so if you scroll through Bryce's page, the videos with a lot of views are the ones where he's sort of saying, here's why Islam is wrong and Christianity is the one true religion, or here's why you can't believe in LGBTQ doctrine. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't be saying those things, but it seems to be the case that the more controversial, the more culture war adjacent your content is, the more likely you are to actually do well. And so I think it's hard to entirely escape the logic of these platforms.
The impression I get from him, having been in like youth group settings and kind of sometimes being this guy myself, although never going quite as far as Bryce Crawford, is that he feels like a youth group guy that is really, really passionate and never like grew out of that. And then he got an online platform, and that's kind of where he's like heading. So like when he's talking, he's speaking with a lot of like very verbose kind of ways of describing faith. He says a lot but doesn't say a lot of anything. Kind of like what I'm doing right now.
Yes, I know what you mean. He's very tuned into like the Christianese.
Yeah.
And uses a lot of it.
Like, Lord God, we just thank you that, and you just
majesty and
yeah.
Yeah. I also think I would wonder, we probably could figure this out if we wanted to, but what the gender breakdown of his listenership is, because
yeah, same.
I think of Bryce and Cliff Knechtle, our last person we spoke about, and to me they're very like masculine coded. And then you think about Girls Gone Bible, who we've referenced.
Yeah, very feminine coded.
Yeah, and Cliff and Bryce are going out into the streets and confronting people and arguing with them about faith, whereas Girls Gone Bible is these two women joking around and sharing their testimony about God's work in their life and stuff. And it's kind of interesting that there's these two models, I guess, of what resonates in a way that I would see as kind of gendered. So like,
yeah,
Girls Gone Bible is kind of feminine coded, and Bryce Crawford is, I think, big among guys. Yeah. I'm sure he has a big female audience too. He's a good looking guy, but
but he's just got married. That's
he just got married. He's off the market.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We're happy for you, Bryce.
Okay, so we've talked about Bryce Crawford, and there's way more we could get into with him. But honestly, it feels like we'd be rehashing some of our Cliff Knechtle conversation because it's a lot of similar content. So I want to know about Praise Energy, which we talked about at the beginning. Why is he launching this? Or maybe better question, what is differentiating Praise Energy from other things on your analysis, Jack?
Well, it's a Christian energy drink, Seth. I
right.
think it's pretty self-explanatory. I could answer this question, Seth, but I think I have someone right here who's actually much more equipped to explain to you.
Oh, perfect.
What makes Drink Praise different from the other energy drinks on the market.
I decided to start a Christian energy drink company, and here's how. I had my first energy drink when I was 18 years old, and I was working 13-hour shifts every day, hot in the sun, on boats in Florida, and I was drinking them the same reason that many people drink coffee and energy drinks. It was to get through a work day, or to lift in the morning, late night study session, or to hit the flow state in whatever you're doing. But at the end of 2024, I started getting convicted about the things I was eating and drinking and consuming. And so that started my journey on creating this energy drink company that honors Jesus on the branding. I wanted to make it Christian because I want people to know we're Christian. I want people to know that we love Jesus. Christian founders, Christian employees that are putting love, intentionality, purpose, zeal, passion behind every drink, every product, every flavor, every formula. I want to use this more than just a product, as a tool to plant seeds and start conversations about Jesus. But furthermore, about the product, I wanted to make a cleaner option on the energy drink market. Some energy drinks offer 200 milligrams of caffeine in their cups. We have 100 milligrams of caffeine, and the best form of caffeine coming from green tea extract. Your average cup of coffee has about 95 milligrams of caffeine in it, and this has 100. Great option. We're naturally flavored, and I believe that this option is going to be a better option and a cleaner option on the market. And so that's why we decided to create Praise Energy.
Wow, it feels like he downed one of those before he recorded that video.
So what makes it different, Seth, is that it's a little bit worse than the other energy drinks, and it's Christian. No.
You know what I'm thinking about, though? This idea of a Christian energy drink. There was a whole thing like years ago about Monster energy drinks being demonic.
Yes.
And like how the M was like, or the symbol is like you flip it upside down. Or there's like that lady that's describing how Monster energy drinks are satanic. And now I'm like realizing that maybe he actually does have a big market here.
What's the one symbol of witchcraft? It's when there's a space between the whatever.
Here is the message. Antichrist.
It's a great video.
And when you turn it upside down, it's 666, and the devil laughs.
Right.
One of the best videos ever. Thank you for actually reminding me of that. I did not make this connection. So as we can see, there's been latent demand for this product for years, Seth. Since the days of Vine, people have been wanting a Christian energy drink. But I think to start high level here, what's really interesting to me about Praise Energy is that this is a very common tactic if you're an influencer to monetize your brand. Because if I'm Bryce Crawford and I have 3 million Instagram followers, that's great, but that's actually not making me much money. And, you need to feed yourself at the end of the day.
Right.
You got a wife,
Yeah.
Starting a family, need to settle down, make some money. And so a lot of influencers will do this kind of thing. We were talking before the episode, the Kardashians famously with Kylie Cosmetics and Skims. On the more like YouTuber side of things, you have Mr. Beast's Feastables and Logan Paul and KSI's Prime energy drink.
That feels like the most like the same case here with Bryce,
Yes. And it's so, okay, quick aside, but it's so funny how Logan Paul comes up in every single episode. And we're prepping for this episode, and I'm like, surely there's no Logan Paul connection. And then you think, what's the most analogous case of an influencer coming up with an energy drink? It's Logan Paul and Prime.
Dude, he is the glue that holds the Christian Avengers together.
I don't know what kind of voodoo magic he's doing behind the scenes, but he comes up in every episode.
Well, Jack, it's not voodoo magic. It's the Holy Spirit.
Exactly, yes. Praise Energy. It does not exist yet.
Okay.
If you're not watching on YouTube, the art on the cans looks like it was generated by AI. They have flavors such as rainbow candy is the one that he's showing off in the clip that we played.
Interesting.
They have like mango and cherry limeade and stuff like this. It has green tea extract caffeine, which not sure what that means exactly. I thought all caffeine was kind of just caffeine, but maybe I'm just ignorant.
Our food science friend Ethan could probably tell us more, but he's not here.
One of our producers for the show.
Yeah.
Who also works in food science. It has no artificial dyes and it has 0 sugar.
Yeah.
So I think what our friend Bryce is saying here is that, okay, my energy drink, it's a Christian energy drink because I made it and I'm a Christian. And furthermore, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Because it has half the caffeine, which it has significantly less caffeine than most energy drinks.
Yeah.
100 milligrams is about a cup of coffee.
Yeah. I'm going to give him credit because I think that he could have very easily just made a cash grab, and maybe this is still a cash grab, but he could have at least done stamp his name on to just a normal energy drink and that's it. But it does seem like he took some effort to say I want to make something unique. And since he considers himself a connoisseur, he's probably passionate about this, this brand and this kind of market. So I can see how it works together. Like, I'm not gonna say that this is like a bad product market fit for
No, he at least tried. Are you a energy drinker, Seth?
No, dude, I've actually like, I don't think I've ever had an energy
serious?
drink
Wow.
except for a Celsius. I did have a Celsius
Oh,
once.
well, yeah. Those are the best.
Yeah. What's the one that George Shenko reps? Is it Celsius?
Oh. Maybe.
Because this feels like a competitor, which is a little bit of
Oh,
a...
yeah. He has like an obnoxious amount of
Yeah,
Celsius.
it's always behind him on
in
the
his,
podcast.
In his
In
podcast.
fact, where are our energy drinks right now?
No, it'll be like you'll be watching the video and there's like a Celsius on like the top like bookshelf on
Yeah.
the set behind
He was
him.
like, he was recording a podcast at like another studio and they had Celsius behind. Like, he brings them along wherever he records.
Yeah, get you a brand ambassador like George Janko.
Yeah.
Bryce Crawford needs to hire George Janko.
Well,
to
honestly,
rep
maybe
Praise
this
Energy.
is some of the like collusion that we're gonna see in the
Yeah,
market.
exactly.
Is they're
We're
gonna come
gonna-
together on this,
Exactly.
We'll
the new
see.
KSI and Logan Paul.
or this is the beef that splits them. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
But so I have been known from time to time and here and there to drink an energy drink.
Yeah.
Okay. At my old work, which I sadly am no longer at, sometimes the refrigerator had Celsius in it. And, Celsius
Just one.
had one. There was a little dwarf that would come in at the end of the day with 1 Celsius. You put it in there. But, if you go into the bodega, a Celsius is like $4. And
Yeah.
so it's actually a great deal. And if I was like truly down bad at work someday, Celsius has a ton of caffeine and also some drug that like speeds up the caffeine uptake into your bloodstream,
Oh,
I
interesting.
believe.
I didn't know that.
Something like that. And so it really it gasses you up.
It rips.
And so like on the question of product market fit, I don't know if I'd actually want to pay energy drink prices, which are more than a cup of coffee, for the same amount of caffeine as a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's fair.
While I commend Bryce for trying to not fill his listeners and fans' arteries with caffeine and give them heart palpitations, it is just kind of like, who would actually pay for this?
Yeah. To bring it back to things that we've talked about this series, there's a little bit of a fusion here between Christianity and capitalism, in the way that these influencers, they feel like they got to make money. I mean, this is the history of evangelicalism in America, is that it's often been product driven in many ways, whether that product is selling books, selling yourself as a personality. The Christian music industry has a lot to do with this. I think that branding things as Christian has really been just a steadfast way that the evangelical movement in America has been able to keep moving and keep going, and also kind of raises some questions about how we should think about it as part of our faith. Is this a problem? Is like what I'm trying to think through.
To your point, Seth, the fusion of Christianity and capitalism in America goes way back.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a tangent, but I was reading this book a couple of weeks ago, sort of about the progressive era and how capitalism evolved in kind of late 1800s, early 1900s. And one of the big shifts you started to see is business owners, they have a kind of a bad reputation. We have the Rockefellers, everyone's dying in the coal mines, the industrial era. Like they're like, we need to kind of repair our reputation among the common folk. And so one of the things they do is, sort of influenced by this Christian worldview, they start putting a real emphasis on service. We're serving the customer. Like today when you hear terms like customer service, or you go to Chick-fil-A and they're saying my pleasure and stuff, a lot of that actually has roots in the American progressive era, which was this very Christianity forward, like we need to renew our moral compass in America kind of era.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens to be true is that customer service is really good for capitalism because it encourages people to consume a lot more. We really like being served. And so I don't want to say that this is inherently good or bad,
Yeah.
because I think that if you're a Christian, that comes into every sector of your life. And so, yeah, you should serve your customer.
Yeah.
right?
I think
Like,
that's totally true.
if you are running a business or something. So I don't know if it's necessarily bad, but it certainly has deep roots in American history.
Yeah, I would say it's not a problem necessarily at all. Like, I think Bryce has every right to create a product that he is passionate about. He's thinking of his audience, a bunch of young men that love to consume energy drinks, and are putting crappy stuff in their body, like giving them a healthier option is not a bad idea. I think the interesting part that I saw there is when he says that he hopes this like plants seeds for the gospel, which I'm like, again, God can work in whatever way he does. But it is a very interesting idea to think that like a can that's branded as praise energy, like, is going to like lead to a gospel conversation. It feels very tract kind of style. Like it's like you're going to see something and it's going to convince you that you're going to become a Christian or something.
You know what it reminds me of almost is if you drive through the South or like parts of Pennsylvania Bible Belt today, you'll see these billboards on the side of the road that are like, is Jesus really the Son of God? Call this number.
Yeah.
And a part of me is just like, is that, like, how effective is that really? I think that God works in all sorts of ways that you wouldn't suspect, but it does feel like it's in the same vein a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing to note is that Bryce is not the first Christian influencer to try to monetize his platform with a product. So one that I personally used and reviewed was Girls Gone Bible Plus, the sort of Patreon level platform offered by our gals Ari and Ange.
A plus content.
Not quite A plus content, pretty bad content, and I felt like not worth the money. Hopefully it's different with Bryce Crawford. I'm not sure how optimistic I am about that being the case.
Yeah.
It does make me a little nervous though, because I've seen so many YouTube videos of like, I tried Feastables and it sucks.
Yeah.
Or like all of these,
Yes.
influencers will use their brand to create some awesome sounding product, but they're not product people, they're influencers. And maybe they got into business with some shady characters. And so it seems like these influencer monetization strategies let people down, because ultimately, like, your skill set is to make an entertaining video. It's not necessarily to offer a product that's actually good.
I think it's brand diversification, honestly, is how they think about it. And it's like, you have a platform, you like, growth is the goal if you are a business and you're self-sustaining. And so naturally it's going to lead into thinking about products and how that fits. And so this is like what actual creator strategy will tell you. There are these guys, Colin and Samir, who do these videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they really dig into like the creator economy on YouTube. And they did a video just recently with Mark Rober, who's like he's an engineering YouTuber. He does like science educational videos, but they're like really fun and big. He gets millions and millions of views. And he has like a whole product strategy around creating toys that are educational about engineering for like kids like K through 8th grade or something. It all stems from the videos and it's like all connected. And so like thinking about your audience and your products all together is like a new way that the creator economy is slowly growing. And I think this Bryce Crawford thing just fits right in there. It'll be interesting to see like if he launches like his own Bible, or like a branded Bible. There's so many things.
And to be clear, I don't think all this stuff is inherently bad.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the Girls Gone Bible episode. If you want to go on tour and sell tickets at whatever the market rate is for tickets to your show,
Right.
I might not be going to it, but like it's
Right.
like if you have fans that are going to pay that price, I don't really have a problem with you making money off of this brand. You got to eat, you got to support your work, your ministry.
Right.
But I do want to zoom in for a second, Seth, on the product itself. Like, I feel like we've made fun, call it what it is, of the idea of a Christian energy drink.
Yeah.
But like, what does this actually mean? Is there anything actually Christian about this? Should we be buying Praise Energy instead of White Monsters going forward? Is there anything inherently bad, or is this a neutral thing to be doing?
It depends on your theology a little bit. So a lot of Christians in the evangelical world really see the world as a sacred secular divide. Unless things are inherently explicitly labeled as Christian or given as like a Christian, like Christians are running something, that the secular world is very much against God, and that the mission is to basically infiltrate all those areas with the gospel. Infiltrate's the wrong word because I believe it's a good thing. So maybe it's more like slowly influence the culture. We've heard that before. Influencers kind of influence the culture and and kind of take it over time, so that it's more sacred and less secular. I attend a Reformed church, and there's a little bit more of a view of the sovereignty of God and being like all things are actually under His sovereignty and control, and there's not really. I'm not going to say there's no such thing as secular, but that even a energy drink that is not branded as Christian can very much glorify God if it is ethically sourced, if it's doing things. I mean, like the way that you conduct yourself is the glorification to God, not necessarily slapping a name on it.
Right.
And so I think that there's like this a little bit of the evangelical theology coming in here of like, unless it has Jesus's name on it, it's not proclaiming Him. And I don't think that's necessarily true. And I do think that can sometimes create this weird dichotomy of like, yes, in his theology, technically, I guess you could say this is a Christian energy drink, but how are you thinking about the way that you conduct that business? Are you paying your employees well? Are you like creating flourishing for those around you? Those are also considerations that I think you'd have to make it like a Christian business.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I think, to be fair to Bryce, I think maybe a fair way to evaluate the success or failure of Praise Energy, it's not on the market yet, but whenever he starts actually selling it, is it a good business? Are the cans getting out on time? Are they priced at a level that kind of makes sense for people? Or is it just purely a grift? I pulled up this quote from Dorothy Sayers that I really like about work, where she says that the church's approach to an intelligent carpenter is usually confined to exhorting him not to be drunk and disorderly in his leisure hours and to come to church on Sunday. What the church should be telling him is this, that the very first demand that his religion makes upon him is that he should make good tables. Church by all means and decent forms of amusement, certainly, but what use is all that if the very center of his life and occupation he is insulting God with bad carpentry? No crooked table legs or ill-fitting drawers ever came out of the carpenter's shop at Nazareth, nor if they did could anyone believe that they were made by the same hand that made heaven and earth. Right, so
banger.
Dorothy here is kind of saying Jesus had a day job. He was a carpenter.
Yeah.
And he engaged in I don't know about capitalist, but for-profit business where he was, feeding himself by selling tables. And as she writes, no crooked table legs or ill-fitting drawers ever came out of the carpenter's shop at Nazareth. And so, it's good, and more power to Bryce that he wants to brand this as a Christian energy drink. But I also think, importantly, like you said, Seth, are you doing right by your procurement people and the sourcing for your green tea extract and whatever else?
Being Christian is more than branding. I feel like is how I would say it. Like a Christian business is more than just it being branded as Christian. And I think that we'll see. We'll see what happens with Praise Energy.
I agree. And I think one thing that does make me a little uncomfortable is the way that Bryce uses sort of Christian evangelical language in pursuit of growing his own business. So in the first video we watched, he says, I just got convicted about what he's putting in his body, and he wants to honor God with what he consumes. And that's all good, I guess, but it's a little weird to me to use the term convicted when you're trying to sell me a product. Like a conviction is a thing that the Holy Spirit tells you that you ought to do. It's sort of the guiding voice of God within you. And the idea that that should go hand in hand with business interests, I mean, it makes me a little uncomfortable. And then as you mentioned as well, Seth, he's using this energy drink as a tool to plant seeds for conversations about Jesus. I mean, it's certainly possible that you're drinking you're drinking a Praise Energy at work and someone comes up to you and is like, what's that? And you're like, oh, I'm a Christian. I'm drinking Praise Energy. Check out this guy, Bryce Crawford. But you can see how this can very quickly go south if you start using the language and aesthetics of Christian worship and belief to talk about your business and energy drink product that you're trying to sell.
I agree. I think the only way that this can go is that we need to order a case of Praise Energy for ourselves and test it live on the pod at some point. Yes,
exactly. As soon as it says early 2026, it's coming out. And so actually, on the website, there was a little box that said, be the first to know when Praise Energy is available.
You can't pre-order it or anything?
No, but I typed in your email, Seth.
Oh, perfect.
I didn't want to be on Bryce Crawford's email list, but I was like, Seth's email would be great.
I can't wait to get like daily emails from them about all of the offers and new flavors they're coming out with.
Well, Seth, that's the story of Praise Energy. This has been a really fun one, a very topical one.
Yeah.
Kind of a quick turnaround. So I appreciate you doing this with me, and I'm very excited to make a follow-up episode where we're cracking open a couple of cold ones.
Another Christian Avenger checked off the list. I mean, we are working our way through here, Jack.
Check. Yeah, we're getting close to the end. We're like running out of Christian Avengers.
Yeah, what more are we going to talk about? We need more content to go off of.
Yes, Christian influencers, if you're watching this, make more content.
Hit us up.
But yeah, that's all that we have for today. To any listeners who made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you guys very, very much. We're making these for you. If you get a second, please throw a comment on the YouTube channel, on Substack. Shoot us a message. We read all of your messages.
Mm-hmm.
We love all of your encouragement and feedback, and we try to incorporate it. So be in touch. Don't be strangers. And we will see you in the next one.
See you guys.